Hey everyone, it's Anna Runyon here, and today I'm really excited. I have a special expert here. This is Jenna Jansen, and she is joining us. She just published a book, but I love her story. I love her journey, and I really wanted to share it with you. So Jenna used to be a hairstylist. She's going to maybe tell us a little bit about her journey, but what happened over the summer is she had a wrist injury, and she could no longer be a hairstylist, and I've been amazed watching her over the last few months. She's just worked her butt off to start a business, to launch a brand new book, and that's really what we're going to talk about today. Your book is called The Salon Success System for Hairstylists, the 7-step beauty blueprint to go from talented to profitable. I love that you turn something that could be really tough and difficult, and you are like making it work for you now. And I can't wait to share your story with everyone else. So thanks for being here, Jenna.
Thank you, Anna. It's so crazy because I never in a million years would have expected so many people to have good what is the word, reception of it, and just being so positive, because you hear a lot of people being like, my family or these people aren't really supportive of my business. And I would definitely say launching a book while launching the business was a really easy segue into being like, this is what's happening. And it's a lot easier to talk about, I feel, and bring up. And I found out that I think it's like 80% of the population wants to own a business or write a book, but only about 3% actually do it. So when you say I've written a book, and then they ask you like, how long did it take you? And it's just a really, really good conversation piece.
Awesome. Well, that means this is going to be a really good video then, because that's what I'm going to ask you. So first of all, one of the big questions, because we asked our Corporate Rescue Plan members questions before we started this, because you're a CRP member too.
Yeah.
And the top one really was, did you decide to go to a publishing house or did you self-publish? How did you make that decision?
So I did self-publishing through KDP on Amazon.com. I actually looked at the ebook template that you had on the Corporate Rescue Plan, and I had a friend who he writes books and helps other people with their business and marketing message, and he said actually self-publish yourself and put it on Amazon. So with his help and CRP, a lot, it's crazy how much stuff got intermingled and all the support with everything. I followed all the different steps and put it right through KDP. It was literally easier than uploading an attachment to an email. So I typed out the book. I used Grammarly to make sure that everything was edited appropriately. Had someone also edit it through Fiverr.
Nice.
Had them do the formatting for Kindle, and then uploaded the book. It was actually really interesting because the night before the launch, I didn't think I was going to receive the book on time. And so I just uploaded my Word document. I was like, please work, please work. And I had the launch time of 7 a.m. and I had a dummy file in there with random words. And I was like, nothing like imperfect action. So I was like, please be up there, please be up there. So at 6:30, I just stared at the computer screen waiting for it to pop up. So it's really interesting. Technically, the first day, people didn't have the full-on vast, amazing edited one, but it was 100% all the content, but it didn't have clickable links and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was literally uploading that. You can't really mess too many things up, and seeing the back end, people just randomly buying it. You're like, wow, that's a really interesting stream of income. It's $10 here, $10 there. And then, because the launch day was at 99 cents, which made it, really easy for people to make that investment and get to know the book. And then now people are actually purchasing it for the full price.
And so what was the mindset around 99 cents on launch day? I think that's really important.
So the 99 cents is just what Mario recommended, and that's what he did for all of his books. And it just helps, like, oh, it's 99 cents, why not? I'll get it. I'll help support this. And then I had people that were purchasing it and reading it that weren't even in the salon industry. And because of the information I have used and have been given about, email marketing, using different social media, understanding your numbers and personal branding, business branding, your message, I feel like this is an overall good book for business. But obviously my niche and my target market are hairstylists.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good to hear that other people were like actually finding value from it that had purchased it.
And you're creating that buzz. And I love it because you're creating your brand. You're not trying to bring in a ton of money with 99 cent sales, but you really launched this brand when you launched that book.
Yeah. And then what helps is like, so the way that Amazon works, which I know like this is one of the questions, I'll just kind of segue into it.
Mm-hmm.
So becoming #1 international bestseller is a lot easier than you think. So I was like, how do you do this? Like, you have to sell like millions of copies, I'm sure. And like, I had like 80 book sales that day, and I beat out John Taffert from Bar Rescue, which I was like, yes. So what you do is you go through and each book has a category. And so there's like children's books, arts and hobbies. Well, mine was careers, service industry, careers, job hunting, careers, and then they'll pick a couple other ones for you. Well, when you look at it, there's an algorithm to figuring out how many copies you need to sell in order to hit bestseller historically on average. And the one that I was with John Taffert, I needed around like 35 copies that day in order to hit #1 bestseller. And then I sold like 10 copies in Canada. So then you come international.
Nice. I love it.
It's just a little like way, and it's obviously like the truth and everything. I worked extremely hard, but and got that message out there, but it's just, I don't know, it gives you something else to like, kick your game up a notch.
I love it. So I published with a actual publishing house.
Yeah.
And everything you're saying is very true because especially the self-publishing route, it took years to get that book done. Like I wasn't even excited about it when it was done. So I love the self-publishing route and the model you chose because you could just fly and make it on your own terms, not have to wait for. That's why we're our own bosses, right? Because we don't want to have to deal with other people, other bosses.
And it's so cool because like, I gave myself like a very strict timeline of 2 months to finish it. Because I'm the type of person, if I give myself a year or even like a few months, I'm like, hey, I'll just put it off. And so it's 8 weeks of crazy,
Crazy.
Getting it done, but having like the plan, having the support, like having the CRP mastermind group really helped, because I would talk to the ladies and be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about the logo? What do you think about the book cover? And it, just having that like unbiased group that was like a little bit smaller than the actual group helped, because we were very comfortable in just conversing with each other about what was good or what wasn't for our businesses.
That's awesome. So you got the support that you needed. So you said you used Fiverr.
Yes.
Were there any other apps or websites you used? Like where did you create your logo?
I created my own logo.
Okay.
So
using
Adobe Photoshop.
Okay, good for you.
So I used to do graphic design. So I created my own book cover and I created my own logo. And the print cover is now being done by somebody else because I have to have it completely resized from Kindle. So for that, I'm like having a professional do for me because I'm just like, I want to make sure that this is perfect, because the other one I can re-upload and change and that. So yeah, I have a friend doing that for me who is a professional graphic designer. And it's just like, once I have those physical copies, it's going to be so much even more real, because I found out that what's nice about having a book, so you have a business card, most people do, and that has like maybe a 2-day span of someone being interested in your business card, maybe even like 2 minutes. I don't even know, but I know it's extremely low. But having a book, someone is so much less likely to throw that away, do anything with it. They can give it away to somebody. And I'm like, how much are these going to cost me? So my book costs $2 to print.
Wow. That's
So,
another plus for self-publishing.
yes. And, obviously I don't have like it's not hardcover or anything. It's just paperback. It's like 150 pages. It's not that big, but it's, it's awesome to be like, hey, I can actually give you my book right now. Like for me, like giving someone a $2 book has so much value in what they can learn about me. And it's a very like non-aggressive way to get to know the person that you might be working with.
And how are you printing them, or what website are you using?
Through CreateSpace, through Amazon. And then there'll be a paperback option through my Amazon book link. So if someone wants paperback or Kindle, they can get either or.
So you mentioned something really important, and inside your book you have links. Probably yes. you have www.salonsuccessreport.com. Is that probably one of?
Yes.
That's your lead magnet, which we learn
yes.
about in Corporate Recipe Plan. So tell us your strategy, because you can't really, when you publish with the publishing house, you can't really do too much linking. It's like whatever they want. But you, now knowing your business, how did you use like those links within the book to now grow your business?
So there's links within the book and outside of the book. So on the back cover, there's actually a link like, go here to learn more. Like you'd see like kind of like, it'll be like the UPC code is still, or the ISBN code is on there still for purchasing. But there's also going to be like a little box where they can, like, they just look over it and they're like, I don't even have to go, read this book, and I can already go to her lead magnet and figure more out about her. And in each chapter, there's an extra credit or bonus information. So for me, I really like being on video. So if there's something that I wanted to explain a little bit more in depth, they can click on that link. It'll drive them to the website, where then they're obviously going to see more of what's going on. They can have interaction. There's a monthly, like one person is selected every month that does the surveys for a coaching call, and on that topic of what they've put the survey in for. So like if they did it about, knowing their numbers, I would call them about that. And that's just really easy way to get to know me.
I love it. So how long then from start to finish did it take you?
So I mean, it was 8 weeks, but if I were to time it out, I probably spent 3 days of actually typing the book.
Wow. So it was all up in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it was interesting because I'd be writing and like, wait, I need to fact check that. I'm like, okay, I know this. Like, it's just, with different things like making sure I have everything like right about what I wrote about Twitter or, Pinterest, making sure all that stuff was correct. It's amazing like what and you can become so much even more confident in your business when you're writing your book, because it's just flowing out of you. You're like, I know this stuff. And
that's why I read a blog all the time.
Yeah. Like I didn't realize I knew it, but like really like laying it out there and seeing like, I know this and I am an expert in my field.
So it increased your confidence.
Yes.
I love that. So did you outline it first, or what was your writing process like?
Yep. So I outlined it into the headings for the chapters. And then with that, I had just like 3 bullet points. And then as I thought of different things, I would add on to those bullet points. So the book was pretty much an outline, and then I restructured it into a book. I used Evernote to create it. So I would clip things. I had a book folder, and then, things were linking, and there were, different tabs for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And then when I created my, my lead magnet for my report, I just pulled information from my book. And what this book is creating is my course content, my business content, all of that stuff. I'm like, oh, I need to do a Facebook Live. Let me pull something from my book today. Like,
Smart.
it's so easy. You really are just diving farther into your business when you write a book.
Love it. So how much, you did a great job of this, because I saw your Facebook Lives. You were all over this marketing part. So how much was self-marketing? How much building suspense before the book dropped?
How much, what do you mean? Like,
how much were you doing, like, building up suspense before the book actually launched?
I mean, I feel like I did something pretty much every day.
For how long? Like a week?
I started it. I did. So Mario would like message me, like, go do a Facebook Live, or, make sure you're promoting this, and having that constant reminder of, making sure that you're a forefront on this, but I also made sure that my Facebook, especially my personal page, wasn't just about the book, wasn't just about my business. Like, I had other things intermingled in there. But people started sharing my posts with friends that were hairstylists. And on top of that, I also had like a book launch party. So people came, to party for that, and they got to like hang out with me. And it was just a fun engagement. I wouldn't say like I necessarily like extended my time, like overextended myself by doing anything. It'd be things like, I'm thinking about this, or, this is what I'd like to talk about today regarding being a business owner. And it kind of almost became like my little like startup journal.
I love it.
Especially with my startup story. Like, that was a huge driver into continuing, telling my story.
And it just proves you don't have to be fully up and running with your business before you do this. And I'm glad you are the example for this. You just are starting your business and creating your book at the same time. And you have so much experience already in your prior work history that you can use right off the bat. I think a lot of people get stuck because they feel like, I just started, and they have that imposter syndrome. So thank you for sharing that, and like helping others who are scared and feel like they might not know everything.
I feel like I just like kind of like jumped in and was like, here I am, like, because the day that I launched that I'm doing my business, I didn't have the name, I didn't have an LLC, I didn't have a bank, business account for anything. I didn't have anything. I just had the idea and like hope. And the business name didn't even get created until week 5 of writing the book. And I got the LLC like 2 weeks before the book launched. So I was like, please get in here so I can get paid. Like, because I have to have that on Amazon. And, and to get like the business account and everything at your bank. But it's really interesting. And like, I would say like, I think I was really nervous, like, how much money am I going to like invest into everything? And I would say like, because I had corporate rescue plan, because I invested in also like a private coach too, because I need a lot of accountability. It's like, I mean, I probably like had like a year at college, but I learned so much more than I ever did in my, like, I was a super senior there. So in my 5 years of college, in 8 weeks, I learned more than I did in my 5 years of college.
Good for you. You just dove in. So what are you doing now to like maintain momentum and interest? I know once you get the book, you can be off and running. I'm excited for you. I see like hosting little parties for people like in their salons,
Yep.
and having that book.
Yep. So it's really interesting. I have 2 more books coming out in the next year regarding this. I'll have salon owners and cosmetology students for the salon success system. So it's creating constant awareness about it and marketing. For me, like what is being focused on the most is my class, which is, what the business is about is doing the coaching for the hairstylists. Like what we have here. And at Corporate Rescue Plan. But like keeping the momentum is definitely difficult because it was so much momentum so fast in the beginning that now I feel like I don't feel like I'm doing as much. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, I was doing so much then, like I don't need to be overexerting myself to do that. But it's just like, keeping the schedule like we have like on the social media scheduler, and making sure that you're keeping your commitment to yourself for your business, because I always think of my business isn't really for me, like it's for the people that are getting the information. It's like, shame on me if I don't share this. That's how I feel. Like, how selfish is it of me to have information that helped me do so well? Like, okay, so I didn't even think about this being part of the interview until today, but my best friend was talking to me on FaceTime when I used to work at Ulta Beauty. And she's like, do you know that you're a legend here? Like, people know you, you don't even work here anymore. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, girl, you were making the most money of any hairstylist working the least amount of hours.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, it's just funny. Like, leaving because I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave the hair industry. Like, that was nothing ever in my horizon of doing, but breaking my wrist twice within 6 months of each other, and 4 years ago. So that just destroyed my career, per se. Destroyed, but it just led me onto a different path.
Yeah, definitely. And you're on it now and you're making it happen. So you have other books coming out.
Yep.
Tell us about kind of like the sales funnel that you set up.
Yep. So the sales funnel that I have is a lot of my traffic is driven via Facebook. So like you said, like really pick a platform that you enjoy using. And for me, it's been Facebook. It's the one that I use the most. It's the one that a lot of hairstylists are on. I have a lot of, professional groups through there that I've been able to post content to. So they're seeing that. And then I have from there, like people will like private message me a lot of the times. And then from there, I direct them to salonsuccessreport.com. I acquire their email and everything, and they have an opt-in free guide, and then I'm able to schedule them for a business breakthrough call.
Awesome. So she's using your book to lead to the lead magnet, to have this session, the free session, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, free session. She's doing everything right. The free session into.
That's where I learned it from.
Are you doing individual coaching, or are you doing a course right now?
It's courses. So it's 5 hairstylists, and we go through the chapter 1 through 7, and all together over 8 weeks. And then obviously like the last week is like, where have you progressed from week 1 to week 8? And we look at their numbers so in depth. On top of that, they're getting accountability throughout the week. Like, what are you doing? I'm still creating this, but it's a planner for them that they have every day, and also an iPhone app to help them track their business.
Very cool. See, there's a whole plan behind the book. The 99-cent launch, there's a whole plan you don't know about.
It's so much bigger. It's so much bigger. Like, you know, people see the book, but they don't see the, you know, everything behind the scenes.
Exactly.
And it's kind of crafty. Like, it's a cool marketing technique.
And I loved your Facebook Live strategy. I think I already mentioned that, but I remember seeing the one where I think it was the day you launched, and you said, just hit #1 international bestseller. I'm like, I bet that one got so much excitement, engagement, and buzz. Like, what helped you get it? Did you have any fears about Facebook Live, or how have you gotten so up and running on that?
So I was a theater major in college. So
there you go.
I have no issues with that. I can talk to a wall, but I think also the fact, okay, well, I've done that before. I've been really nervous. And so, because it's like I'm talking to myself, and especially if someone's not on there engaging. But watching you, like, during group stuff, I'm like, you know, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, my friend Mario, like, he gave himself the whole reason why I hired him is because I watched him do everything that I wanted to do as well. Like, I was like, okay, well, if you find someone successful doing like what you want to do, and that can be a great business coach as well. So that's what I did. And he just did Facebook Lives all the time. And that's how I learned about his business. That's how I learned about him. And I don't even remember, like, I think it was Pinterest that I found out about you. Like,
Probably.
And I was like, might as well, I'll try this. And I had, you know, Love Your Career Formula and Corporate Recipe at the same time, and was like, I don't know where I'm going. And that was awesome because I really got to gauge what I wanted to do. But so I kind of lost I do this. Oh, the Facebook Live. So anyway, once you start doing it, like, it becomes almost like second nature. It's like, oh, I have an exciting thing. Let me do a Facebook Live. Like, oh, this is, you know, fun. Like, it became so much more fun than anything scary. Like, and there was a day, like, we had our expert authority class with Mario, and he's like, okay, now I want you to get on Facebook Live and do a thing. He's like, I don't care if you don't have any makeup on or your hair is not done. I was like, how did you know? How did he know this one time? And then he did one too, and he hadn't, like, done his hair or anything. He's like, I lead by example. And, you know, like, he's like, just speak from your heart. And I did. And it just made me comfortable. It's like, you don't have to, like, prep yourself and become perfect looking. Like, just go do it. People aren't going to look. I mean, I bawled like a baby my first time, and I had, like, so many views of that video.
That's the one I saw. But it was so authentic. I mean, you were so you know, and I think, you know, the first one's always the hardest, but I think you said a couple things. You just have to speak from the heart, you know, and just be you. So I think that's awesome.
I think,
yeah, keep going.
Oh, there's one thing that I'm still learning, which is hard for me, is, like, looking into the camera, and instead of, like, looking at yourself. That's really
minor
difficult.
things.
Minor things. But I'll rewatch them, and I'm like, oh, I'm relearning something that I will just authentically say. I don't write anything out. I just start talking.
Mm-hmm. So how do you, like, if we're talking to someone who's just starting, wants to write a book, you know, what would be your advice to them?
Definitely give yourself a deadline, have an outline, make a commitment to yourself, have some type of coach or accountability group, because people are, I think, naturally awful at holding themselves accountable for anything. And, you know, just do it, because I perceive that you have one life, and I I've always had the thought of, if I have one life, like I want to live it to the fullest, and I don't want to miss out on anything that comes like from within me, because it's just like, that was something that was like granted to me. That idea was granted to me for a reason. And it's, you know, like, just don't be nervous. Like, I could have been so nervous about ever doing this, and it's almost like living in like dreamland, like how receptive people have been and how nice and, you know, giving for, you know, like their congratulations and stuff. And it's crazy.
That's so awesome. So
Mhm.
keep going, just start it. Where can people find out more about you online, Jenna?
So I have my like public figure page, which is Jenna Jansen Coaching. We have, so it's facebook.com/Jenna Jansen Coaching. My company website is salonsuccesssystem.com, and also facebook.com/salonsuccesssystem. And
Awesome.
I have all the other ancillary social media, but for me, like focusing on one and really harnessing those drivers helps a lot.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your tips. We really appreciate it, Jenna.
It was so much fun. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. Bye.